Can you tell me a little bit about yourself?
Yes, I am Christine. I own Datz Cichlids and Reptiles in McHenry, Illinois, with my husband Justin. We specialize in breeding ball pythons, bearded dragons, geckos, a variety of freshwater fish, including African cichlids and plecos. We're a small family-owned business.
Pause. Are we restarting?
No.
How did you start the business?
The business started as just a hobby in our basement with a few fish tanks. When I moved in, I brought my pet ball python, and then it just kind of expanded from there.
How many years did it take for you to make a profit?
So my husband and I sat down and we agreed that we put a fairly large investment into the business up front, but we agreed that we need to be making a profit within 7 years, and we did accomplish that in less than the 7.
What does your average day look like when taking care of the snakes?
Average day is come on in, assess to make sure there's no major problems, prep the supplies that I need, and then when we are working with the animals, be sure to check them over for general health and make sure there's nothing immediately wrong. Fresh food, fresh water, clean bedding.
Is there anything you wish you did differently when starting the business?
I wish we would have taken the step outside of online sales sooner, because we are successful with the in-person, in-store retail environment, but that was a very scary step to take, having to then interact with the general public and not have the entire world to be able to ship and sell to.
Have you ever had a serious snake bite?
I have not. In all my years, I've barely ever even been bit. But I have had other people who have taken a bite.
How did you handle that situation?
So if a snake does bite and latch on, you have to not panic. The snake normally has just had a feeding mistake type response. Sometimes just with time, they'll realize their mistake and unlatch. But if they really are convinced that your hand is food, you'll just stick your hand down into water, like cooler water, and they normally unlatch and then realize they weren't supposed to be eating you.
What is your dream snake to own?
Ridley's cave-dwelling rat snake.
What is your favorite ball python morph?
So my favorite ball python morph is actually our specific line of albino. One of our original ball pythons is named Daisy, and she's just a standard albino, but she's very, very bright and beautiful. So our line of albino.
What's your favorite part of breeding? What's your favorite part of breeding?
I think my favorite part is kind of the science behind it, the genetics, seeing what comes out of the egg and what we end up with based on the odds, and then sometimes we get surprised and there's an extra gene in there that we didn't realize, so then going back and trying to figure out what else is in that mix.
What are some challenges you faced when breeding ball pythons?
It was definitely trial and error to get proper temperatures in an incubator setup that was correct. What are some challenges we faced when breeding ball pythons?
Definitely pairing at the right time.
Pairing at the right time.
Not knowing the signs that girls are doing things that they're supposed to be doing. Not realizing that they ovulate after conception, not before, because we all are so used to humans. Then once eggs were laid, making sure that we could go through and put them in an incubation tub properly with the proper mixture of perlite, vermiculite, and water, which that was a total waste. Who came out with the hatch red tubs? Easy Hatch tubs. We get them through ReptiChip, and made such a difference just putting them right over water. They don't dehydrate. Proper tub, not saran wrapping the top, not putting holes in it. So yeah, there was 4 years of just bad eggs before we actually got our first successful clutch. So really sucked. Really makes you feel like this is not for you.
What are some of the main responsibilities of taking care and breeding the snakes?
Well, making sure that females are proper weights before you do any kind of copulation, making sure males are getting meals in between, passing them around to make different genetics. Also making sure that they're sexed right. You know, there's a lot of breeders that do not sex their animals properly, and they might ship you a female that turns out to just be a male that they didn't pop right when it was young, or mixed up, whichever the case may be. Then you have two males duking it out, and it becomes a problem. But health is number one. You have to make sure the girls, I do not pair under 1,800 grams. We've seen egg binding in girls that are paired at 12 to 1,500 grams, and we get to see that firsthand from our customer side because they immediately need help, and it's not much we can do. Yeah, basically it's keeping your animals healthy
And learning how to
see the signs if they need.
and take care of them properly, and not trusting others. Learning to do it yourself.
If they need a year off, don't be afraid to give them a year off just because you want to make something new that year. You know, the animal comes first.
What do you think are some of the benefits of like snake breeding?
Positive experiences in life, learning that you can do it. Outside of that, you need to have an outlet for what you do create if you are not doing it to purely keep or to use as feeders. Plenty of snakes out there are used as feeders for other snake-eating animals. Things that, yes, can they take a rodent, but it's not the healthiest for them, and it gives them fatty liver disease. And you come to realize what they need to eat. But to be able to say, hey, I was able to take something that at one point in time was so hard to do. You know, back in the 70s, it was so hard to breed ball pythons because nobody knew all the signs, nobody knew the proper temperatures. And once that all got figured out, it was easy because now the internet gives you so much information. You just have to weed through the good, the bad, the ugly.
What do you think are some personality traits that someone might need?
Hardworking, charismatic,
Dedicated. Because
perseverance. Because you might pair something and get all dud eggs,
Mhm.
or you pair something that your odds are very high to get a very high dollar, high end animal, and then they hatch out and they're all
you didn't hit the
not
lottery.
high dollar animals, and you need to keep, once again, have an outlet for it, but also keep up with it, because the next time you do it, you might hit that.
You might hit one, you might hit all.
It's like gambling.
Yep. More expensive than gambling.
Okay, there is someone on the
So
way.
this girl just got through laying a big batch of eggs. I think she had 8 eggs that went down the incubator.
Awesome.